welcome to Writing a Small Moment Story Lesson 1, which is telling a story through illustrations. Now, this is an assignment that I kind of talked to you about if you met with me in a reading group this week. But what does that mean, telling a story through illustrations? Let's find out. All right. So we have a watermelon story. And a watermelon story, remember, is a big story. Like camping is a big watermelon. Christmas is a big watermelon. There's so many things I could say about that topic. So I don't want to confuse my reader or bore them or just write a story that's way too long right now. So I'm just going to pull out one small seed story, one small thing that happened in that big watermelon. So if I was writing a story about camping, I might talk about the time we made s'mores by the fire. If I was writing a story about Christmas, I would pick a small seed story maybe about when I helped to set up the Christmas tree. So it's not telling Mrs. A the big, whole, gigantic, enormous, humongous story. It's just pulling out that one small seed. All right. So, how do we tell a story through illustrations? Well, we know that all good books have illustrations. That's what makes the book so amazing and so interesting, not just the words, but the pictures too. So, I want you to take a look at this illustration. Is it good? I mean, it's okay. I see a sun, a dog, a tree. I see a label for dog, which is good right here. But I don't know. I think it's kind of missing a lot of details, don't you? Yeah, this is a 1-star illustration. Just doesn't have a whole lot of interesting things going on there. So I'm going to give this a crying face. Don't make a 1-star illustration. We really want to hook the reader, engage them. We want them to read our story, even if it's just looking at the pictures, because we know that we can also read a story looking at the pictures too, right? All right, so let's look at the difference here. Look at the 4-star. Look at the 1-star. Do you see the difference? Yes. Look at this 4-star illustration. It's got so many details. We see the sun, a character, the girl, another character, the dog. We see a tree. We see grass. We see lovely labels and beautiful coloring, personal best coloring with lots of different colors, not just one color, not scribble scrabble. Doesn't look like a chicken was holding my crayon and colored this. Looks like we took our time. So this is awesome, a 4-star illustration. Okay, so I wanted to show you Mrs. A's story. Now, I said I was going to write a story about my sister knocking out my tooth when I was little. Not the funnest time, but a very interesting small moment story, small watermelon seed story. So here is my first illustration, and I am going to show you exactly what I mean when I say you can tell a story just by the illustrations. So if you look at Mrs. A's illustration, I have my sister, Mrs. A dog, a tree, the clouds, birds, the sun, the grass. I have so many details that I could fit in that small space. I put lots and lots of labels and was a brave speller and tried to spell those labels correctly. But what happened in this picture was my sister and I and our dog were playing outside in our backyard, having fun. Everyone's smiling. We can tell our characters are happy on this first page. Then, part 2 of my story. Then my sister took a racket that she was holding, swung it back really hard, and did not know I was standing behind her. She whacked Mrs. A in the face, and out flew my loose wiggly tooth. And you can see my tooth flying out of my mouth. You can see my facial expression that I am not looking happy. That really hurt. I have a sound effect, whack. I have a speech bubble where Mrs. A is screaming, ah! But I also still have some really little details in there that are also important, like the sun, the tree, and the grass. Okay, so I told you what happened first. I told you what happened next. The last part of Mrs. A's story is I'm on the ground. I have just been hit in the face. My tooth is lying on the floor. I still have those details around me because the setting of a story is very important. I still want the reader to know that the sun was still shining. It was still the same time of day as when we started playing, but things are different now with my characters. I'm hurt. I'm on the floor. I'm crying. My tooth is on the ground. My sister's running, and what does her speech bubble say? Mom! awesome. So lots of things are happening in this picture. Now, if you look just at my illustrations, you can see that a story is starting to unfold and come to life. And that is the beauty of illustrations. They can bring a story and just make it magic and make it come to life. So, scholars, your job is to not even write any words on the lines of your paper. Your job is to just tell Mrs. A your story of what happened first, next, and last, just with beautiful 4-star illustrations.